Hi, it's Ronnie, and welcome to my channel and the Secret Not Secret Kit Club Spotlight on Khristina Day, the 9th of every month. And I am going to be using Teen Spirit by Echo Park, and this is the boy one. There is a boy and a girl one, and I'm going to be using the boy one today. And I'm going to scrap those pictures of Luke. They're all three the same, but I'm going to use them anyway. And so I'm pulling everything off because I need a little space. I am going to do the black and white tile floor that they had in the 50s. And I pulled out my old, very old, Creative Memories punch. And this is a smaller one. And because I measured it, I did a test just to see which one was the closest to what I wanted. And I thought, well, a 1 inch, you can't beat that. I got a 12-inch piece of cardstock. Well, I used the 1 inch, and they punch out all the same size. However, at the end, I will have to trim some of this white paper off. There's kind of like a template and a spacer in between each one of those so that I'll be sure and get them the same width apart. And no guessing on it. I just glue them right down. I'm cutting a trim right now to divide the top, which is white, and I'm going to leave it white, and the bottom. I pulled out my T-square ruler because I thought I would go over the top part of those squares just a little bit, but then I decided really quick that I was just going to snuggle them right up against the little squares instead. And this is my Tim Holtz film strip die, and I cut one out. And I knew it wasn't going to fit, but I thought I would just MacGyver it a little bit so that I could go ahead and use it. And I'd still come up with the same effect. So what I'm doing now is I've got one of my little teeny tiny um, adhesive dispensers. They were like 2 for $1 at the Dollar Tree once. And I thought, well, there's tiny. Sometimes I need to go in tiny places. And that ATG gun is not tiny. And I have the smaller of the two as far as the width of the tape, but it's still too wide for this. And so was this one. Tiny or not, it was. But it worked better than using the big one instead. So I put a strip across the top, bottom, and the two center places, and I left a tiny bit extra on each side so I could add these strips from the film strip on it. And I am going to have to cut them off. I knew they'd be a little too long, but and there's one side that has like a dip in it, so I'm just going to put a piece of black underneath it. I figure, who's going to look that close? And it don't look bad at all. And I think it turns out pretty good. You got to be looking really, really close with that black on black to tell that it's been pieced together. Well, I don't even know if some people would even notice it, especially ones that aren't paper crafters. But yeah, here's where I'm cutting a little piece of black just to fit in that one corner because it had that dip there when I cut it. It was already there. And I thought, well, I'll just fix it when I get done. And so I'm just putting a little, like the smallest piece of black you've ever seen practically in that spot just so it looks like it goes this way. You see that cassette paper right there? I'm going to use it, but I am going to cut it down a little bit more, and then I'm going to mat it on black. And the reason I'm doing that, I wanted it to pop a little more because the bottom part has the black and white anyway, and I didn't want to look like it was just laying on there. I wanted to give it a little substance behind it. And so yeah, I'm going to mat that in black, and I'm going to end up angling it. Like I said, other than the floor, I wasn't quite sure what I was going to be doing, but I laid it down at an angle and thought, I like that. So I end up using it that way. You see that acetate star right there? It came in a package from Colorbach. I guess all the scrapbook stores had Colorbach at one time because I've got quite a bit of old stuff that was from Colorbach. And they had this star and some arrows, and the rest was white. And I thought, well, I'm going to go ahead and use that acetate star because I want to get, really old stuff used up. And I'm going to end up taking 2 stars out of the thickers package also and put on there. My title started out being I Love Rock and Roll, so that's why I had pulled these stickers out. But it's going to change really quick. I'm going to put it on here and then think, nah. So it's going to be Hey, Hey, Rock and Roll. So I've started on another paper piecing project here. I cut out a circle with my Creative Memory circle cutter, and then I took a 1/4 inch punch and punched in the middle of this piece of scrap paper, and then a 1 1/4 inch punch, and tried to center the hole just as good as I could. And this one, the yellow one, it is a 1 1/2 inch punch. I'm going to mount the red onto it, and then I'm going to pull out my 1/4 inch punch again and poke the hole in it. I didn't have my big bite handy, so instead I just put a piece of white paper behind the yellow, so it looked like the hole went all the way through, because I thought, well, there's a good chance this is going to land on white. And I wanted to make sure it looked like there was a hole there, so I certainly didn't want to pick black. But yeah, I made a record of vinyl. Vinyl, what is it? What do they call it? Vinyl. Well, I think they just call it vinyl. It's been so long, I always called it a record. But of course, once I get started, I go cutting it apart. Yeah, that happens a lot with doilies too. I am just going to line this film strip right alongside there. I wanted to use the T-square ruler because I wanted it to get straight with the angle that was already there and have the same degree of angle as that paper behind it did. And I am going to end up using both parts of that record, but yeah, I couldn't resist. I had to cut it in half. I'm looking at my stickers now, trying to decide what else can I use on this layout. And I thought I could make layering right up there on the top half, the one up there on top of the record. So I thought, he plays a guitar. I can go ahead and use a guitar. But of course, I wanted to use a cassette just because it's kind of the theme of the thing. He is doing a photo shoot with 50s, but I didn't have so much 50s stuff, really nothing hardly at all. So I decided that since it was Khristina Day, I would use the Teen Spirit, and I would use the cassette tapes, because in the 80s, cassette tapes were the big thing. However, there's some that do not know what they are anymore. All the younger generation do not know what they are. But as much as I like to reminisce, I only have one cassette tape still. I do not have anything to play it on, but I have the cassette tape. I recorded my daughter when she was 2 at the most, and she was telling me the story of the 3 bears. I had read it to her every night, and she was telling me it, as a payback thing. I wasn't feeling good. I was sick. I had the bug. So she decided to tell me a story to make me feel better so I could go to sleep. And oh, would you look at that? I am done with my layout. Sitting here rambling and not even noticing how close I was to getting done. I did use a die for those music notes. They were already cut out. Those are the ones I had done when I was playing with it when I first got it. But yeah, there's my layout. And you'll probably find more. Just look for the thumbnail with the Secret Not Secret Kit Club. And yeah, there's my layout to go on Luke's album. Another one done. So tickled. But yeah, just look for the thumbnail. And the 9th of the month, don't forget that part. But yeah, appreciation for Khristina Day, or is it Spotlight on Khristina Day? One or the other. But thank y'all so much for watching. And if you leave a comment below, I will get back with you. And if you like the video and hit a thumbs up, I'd love it. And if you are not subscribed to my channel, I would love that too, if you would subscribe. And those of you already subscribed, thank you very much. Have a happy, scrappy week. Bye.